I'm being joined tonight by retired Major General Anthony Atolagbe, who is a former JTF commander and is also the head of security at the Nigerian Defense. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, sir. Yeah. Did it come to you as a surprise? Because it was, you remember what it looked like back in the military days. It was about 3 or so divs that we had. Abi?
Yeah, at a point.
About, sir?
At a point.
At a point, we have about 3 divs. And now it's gone to 8, now 12. Does that make sense to you?
Let me start by saying that I think if we say we do a rejig of any organization, and we will talk about rejigging the architecture of the Nigerian military, I think what we are witnessing is what I will call a rejig at its best.
Really?
Yes. Over the years, we have done so many assessments to find out, what is actually the requirement of the military that will be enough to, defend this nation. What is the strength of the military that will be enough, not only to defend the country, but to also give us that image outside, so that all our multilateral corporations that we have with UN, regional, are we able to meet them? And these are some of the answers that this rejigging is going to give us. First, let's look at the threats. One of the things that is usually being considered is threat analysis. The threat analysis has provided for us that, in almost all the 6 geopolitical zones, we actually need to brace up to be able to contain the threats. So let's not forget that the military is not actually trained to do the job of the police. But we also have other provisions that also makes the military to come in support of the police. So we now look at, when we now look at the defense of the country, where are the threats coming from? We said there is inflow of Lakurawa from the northwest. There is the inflow of Boko Haram from the northeast. And in fact, when you run a line across the boundary between Nigeria and Cameroon, you will see that the threats also extend up to all those areas. So what I have seen is a kind of deployment in which, if you take the map of Nigeria as it was.
You may have it on the screen.
Okay, so if you take the map of Nigeria based on what we used to have, you will notice that between the division that is in Sokoto and the one that is in Ilorin, there is a very big gap.
In terms of distance.
In terms of distance and space. Such that if you tell me that I should move a Bildträg kind of German force that moves at top speed to penetrate that place, they will be knocking on the doors of Federal Capital Territory with almost very little resistance.
So if you look at it, General,
yes,
these are the 4 new divisions that have been created.
Yes.
In Makurdi, in Ilorin, which is in Kwara, in Jalingo, and in Benin City. These are the 4 new ones. And later on, we'll be showing, letting our viewers to see what it looked like before 8. We now have these 4 added to it that has made it now 12 altogether. Yes. But first and foremost, General, give us an understanding. What is an army division? It's more than a battalion, I guess.
An army division is made up of 3 brigades. A brigade is made up of 3 battalions. So a division actually has a total of almost 9 battalions. So it's a very big force.
It's a very big force.
Yes.
You added the JTF.
Yes.
Where at some point, and you added an operation within the North Central region at some point.
Yes.
When you, just for an example, so that a lot of people will understand, the JTF you added was an operation, just like you have the operation Edin Kai.
Yes.
Am I right, sir?
Yes.
Right. That operation is under a brigade, isn't it? Was it?
The Hadinkai.
Edinkai?
No. We talk about a theater.
Okay.
And a theater is composed of some divisions.
Okay.
So we have some sectors, and then we have some divisions under the theater. But when you talk about a div now, let's look at let's talk a div. Let's take a div for example, like a div in Ibadan.
Okay.
So in Ibadan, under Ibadan, we have Ilorin, we have Benin, and then we have another brigade.
Yeah. So under Ibadan division, we have Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, and Ondo State.
Those are the states covered.
Covered.
Yes,
okay.
But I'm talking about the locations of the brigades that are under them.
It. Okay.
So you have 3 brigades. Then under each of the brigades, you have 3 battalions, making 9.
Yeah.
So you are now looking at the spread of the military. Let's not forget one thing. What actually is being done is that the deployment of this army, the army now, will also trigger the level of support that the Air Force is going to give. So they will not just, the Air Force will now have to look at their own, go back to their own drawing board and say, with the level of divisions that we have, do we have enough manpower to support them?
To be able
so if they don't have, it will trigger their own
General,
reorganization too.
Apologies to Button.
Yeah.
A brigade has how many soldiers in its
Let us take a battalion.
A battalion.
Yes. For Nigeria,
yeah,
we have a minimum of 1,000 men.
Okay.
With all the elements that support them.
Yeah.
But when you are going out, for example, for a UN operation, or at the AU and ECOWAS level, they will ask you to come with about 650 persons. At the UN, they request for about 850. You know, all this one has to do with reimbursement and the rest of it. So based on the amount of money that they will be spending, they have to manage the length, the strength of the people
the
that
logistics,
so that determines that. But in the real sense, going by the order of battle of what the Nigerian army does is within the range I mentioned. So you now have, let me just continue breaking it down so that we'll be able to, for the layman.
Yeah.
So when we talk about defending the country, the territorial integrity and so on, so when you see the new deployments, you see that the whole of that central part of Nigeria that is almost barren, as I'll put it.
Please go back to the map. Go back to the map so that we look at the map.
That is almost in such a way. Okay, so you now see. You say a div is in Oyo.
Okay.
And the next div is in Sokoto. So you can just look at that
distance.
That gap.
Yeah.
Okay. So come to the right side again. You have a div in Enugu. Yeah, there is one in Plateau.
Yeah.
You understand? But you see the stretch from Enugu to Benue, to Taraba, to Adamawa. There is no division.
No division.
You understand? So you see that this new arrangement actually has clustered the entire country in such a way that there is some presence in such a manner that if you move here, because now we are looking at just the position of the divisions. Imagine 9 battalions spread around these locations where they are present.
Yeah.
So you now see 3 brigades under them, 9 battalions under each of them.
Yeah.
So they will almost be, mutually supporting each other. Because
so they are able to cover, because we are overwhelmed. The military is in almost every part of the country
so
in one operation or the other. But they are not able to be able to hold ground as much as
doing this now.
Yeah.
You now see where the police comes in to come and fix themselves also. In such a way that at every move, you are able to look to your right and say, hey, police, come this way. The military is also placed. Reposition yourself at this location. It makes it a little bit seamless.
Yeah, in terms of response, because
you are close to
almost every border,
every location, every border location.
So in Taraba now we have a div.
Yes.
In Kwara we have a div.
Yes, you have in Lagos already.
We have in Borno.
Yes.
We have in Enugu.
Yes.
We already have in
Sokoto.
You have in Rivers. You have in Rivers.
Yes.
So at almost every water land border,
yes.
you have almost everywhere.
You also have in Lagos.
In Lagos. So, you have almost everywhere covered now, as it is.
Yes. So that is, we have first of all fulfilled one of the provisions of the Constitution that says we should defend the territorial integrity of the country.
All right. Give me a moment.
If we go further.
Yeah, give me a moment.
Okay.
We have more time to explain all of this, because Nigerians need to understand when policy of government makes sense. When it does not make sense, we've got to be able to break it down. What is the cost-benefit analysis of what the president has done? What is in it for the average person? Does this mean that Nigerians' lives will be better and safer under this? And that's why I've brought the expert tonight to break it down for us. But we'll be looking at the map, the more. We'll look at the 26,000 personnel and how the president has asked them to implement it in 2 phases. That's going to be after the break, everyone. Join us again. Everyone for staying with us. From our JTF commander, retired Major General Anthony Atalagbe has been speaking with us, making sense for us on the decision of President Bola Tinubu to increase the operational division of the Nigerian Army from 8 to 12, creating 4 new ones. And for some of these, that we have seen in the past is the creation. What does this mean? We've had in the past the division in Kaduna, in Ibadan, Jos, Port Harcourt, Maiduguri, Sokoto, Lagos, and Enugu. But recently, the president has just created in Makurdi, in Ilorin, in Jalingo, and Benin City, which brings us to 12 total divisions covering the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. General Atalagbe, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Yes, sir.
There are other things that the president said. He says 26,000 personnel, troops, soldiers should now be recruited. 28,000. What does this mean? 28,000 soldiers.
Okay.
Will it do the job?
What I have to say here is that let us look at the action of the president and whether it is in line with the Constitution.
Okay.
We've first of all spoken about defending the territorial integrity of the country. Now we have other areas that has to do with support to civilian authorities. So you now find a situation where a lot of governors who have to travel very far away to go and consult with GOCs and the rest, some of them are just at your doorstep because there's now a new GOC in your location, or maybe the governor next to you, there's a GOC next to you. So you see a situation, a kind of arrangement that allows for timely action, responses, and activities, administrative cohesion.
Yes.
So now, Nigeria is a regional power also. We have multilateral cooperation with countries, especially, let's look at ECOWAS. We are actually the highest contributing force to ECOWAS standby force. How are we able to meet these requirements? If we need to meet these requirements, we are not going to sit down and say we are just defending our country without being able to produce enough troops to, first of all, be the one to lead in any regional action that we need to take. Now, under the global area, within the UN, we are almost absent now. I remember that the first set of troops to put feet on the ground in Darfur was Nigeria and Rwanda with 4 battalions. And these are things that actually project the image of the country. So, but with this arrangement, because this 28,000 is not just going to be we do it today and then we do no more. No, it's going to be a continuous rolling out of troops.
Invariably, what we had before is not also significantly commensurate to our numbers in population.
Yes,
right?
Well, when you look at military to population ratio.
Population, yeah.
Well, Nigeria, from what I did, from my own calculation, we have 1 to 1,000, which is almost equivalent to what China is doing. But with the Americans, it's 3.7 to 1,000. You understand? But what is actually, what the research actually brought out is that you must have 1 to 50. So there's no country actually that is able to meet that requirement for now.
But is this the same way America has is military bases around the American around the world? America has bases in every part of the world.
Central Command.
Yes. But around their own country, because we are talking about the internal protection of the territorial integrity of the country. Is this the way America has it too?
You need to see the map of how the military is deployed in America. In fact, the Air Force bases alone will amaze you, not to talk of where the military, the army presence are deployed within the country.
Let's look at what we had before now.
Yes.
Before now.
It's the one I was explaining. Let's go back.
If you look at what we had before now in the white map, which gives us the first div, the 82 div, and it gives us, I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
This is where we are.
So,
look at what I was saying.
Yeah.
From 2 division to 8 division.
Yeah.
Just look at the space that exists within that area. Now, if you look at where 3 division is to 82 division, then look to the right of that.
That's
towards the boundary.
From Kaduna to Maduguri.
Yes. Just look at the boundary.
Yeah.
There's almost
Taraba, Benue.
Maybe you just have
all of them are
the presence of brigade or battalions within those locations. But with a division now, you find out that we have kind of saturated the entire Nigerian land space in such a way that you move here, you are going to just be encountering somebody. You move here, you are encountering a force.
So, and before now, between 6th Division and 81st Division, 81. That is from that's from
this is a maritime environment.
Port Harcourt to Lagos. That's the distance you have that you can cover, and quite a lot. And you look at from 82 Division to the 2nd Division, from Ibadan to Enugu. Look at the distance, and the whole of the southeast, which is landlocked, going into the southwest, that distance is a whole lot, isn't it?
Yes. When you look at headquarters 1 division to 3 division, and then you just look down and see another space that is there.
Yeah.
So we are talking about the whole of Niger State, the whole of Nasarawa State, the whole of Kwara State, and the rest of them. So, but with this one now, where you have those red dots, those are the locations where we now have
the new ones.
The new divisions.
The new ones are now, so they literally brought them closer.
Yes.
The new ones are there. Go back to the map. Go back to the previous map.
We can still use this one, okay.
Yeah, so the red dots you can see on your screen, the bigger dots, they are smaller dots.
Yes.
The smaller dots are the new division, the 4. Makurdi, Ilorin, Taraba, those are the new ones that we now find. So it's sort of now moved things closer.
Yes. So when people talk about the fact that the government says they want to establish so month and so month, those are just like taking the first step towards the bigger step and the rest of the steps to be taken. You should not be seeing that action will be completed by September, because I listened to some people and they were saying that they don't imagine how governments will make such pronouncement that maybe it will be too adventurous on their part to say that you want to establish 4 divisions within 3 divisions within just the next 2 months. No, that's not what it means. In fact, some of these locations, take Ilorin, for example, where you have the headquarters of a division. There is a battalion in Ilorin.
There's a Sobi barracks.
Yeah, there's even a battalion in Ilorin. So it's not as if there will not be presence of. It's just going to be
an expansion.
There's what we call a task organization now that will take place in such a way that if your battalion now is being taken over by another division, it means that they need to reallocate another battalion to you. If you are losing a battalion to any new one now, another battalion will need to be reallocated to you, so that in any of your AOR, that's area of responsibility that we have seen listed, there will be presence of another battalion.
Let's look at some of the other things that the memo from the president stated. Yeah. Let's look at some of the things that the president has said in terms of the implementation. He said it's going to be in 2 phases. Yes. Let's look at what it means for the rollout. So in the first implementation modality, the first phase, the establishment of the 5th, 9th, and 10th divisions, the reorganization of existing formations to be completed by September 2026. Critics are saying that is too fast. Yeah. But how can you make that happen?
No, these are some of the paperwork that will take place. Paperwork will take place. They will have to find, like I'm saying now, that if you are losing a battalion to any of the new divisions, it means another battalion will need to be given to you. Yeah. And then they will now tell you where to position it. Those are some of the things to be done under that reorganization.
Why though that the 83rd division is going to come in the second phase? Why is it not coming with the first phase? What do you think?
When you look at your priorities, yeah, and the level of threat that is coming from a particular location, yeah, that this particular area requires some urgent responses. Faster, yeah. Then you now set those priorities are the things to put into consideration before you make such decisions. Yeah. Now
the second phase, the 83rd division will happen completed by December 2026. Yes. So it means that all of the new divisions will have been established, yes, by December 2026.
Yes. That's what it means.
But again, look at the additional support that the president has announced.
Increment of 28,000.
28,000 additional personnel, acquisition of critical military platforms, yeah, and equipment, improvements in troop welfare, support for operational readiness and force modernization. There are those who say, does it make practical sense? How realistic are all these projections? 28,000 additional personnel. How long does it take to train a soldier? Is it practical for the president to say this is going to happen between now and December?
If there is any organization that actually work along timelines more than any other, it is the military. All these things that you are seeing, all these listings, will have been drawn along timelines now. When you talk about 28,000, it takes about 6 months to train some of these men. For officers, it takes another 4 years to train somebody from the first year to the 4th year. So it's not something that we will just wake up tomorrow morning and then we shout uhuru. No, these are progressive steps that will be taken.
To train a colonel to become a brigadier general, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm talking about taking a civilian
okay,
to go to NDA to train and become an officer.
Okay.
To become an officer is 4 years.
It's 4 years.
Yes. Yeah. For the soldiers, it's 6 months.
Whom you call recruits.
Yes. It's at the point of entry you call them recruits. Okay. When they come out, they're no longer recruits.
They become a soldier.
Yes.
Yeah. But an officer, becoming the first rank and being an officer takes 4 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Reasonably. So, talking about acquisition of critical military, you're also aware that military equipment are not just off-the-shelf equipment. So it takes time, it takes negotiation, it takes approval by government from where we are carrying them from.
And DICON is not producing as much as we will. I understand that DICON is trying, and there are some other local manufacturers, but they may not be at par at what the kind of equipment and the kind of armory that we want.
Yeah, I think this particular aspect will spawn this military-industrial complex aspect of our armed forces, because I think we are way behind. And some steps have been taken, but I'm not too sure the level up to which they have taken them. Because just producing ammunition may not be enough for Nigeria. But you must be producing drones, producing aircraft, producing vehicles. I went to South Africa, I saw them sometimes in 2001, and I saw them producing aircraft. You understand? So if you have to get yourself within the space that you belong, you must be doing some of these things to make sure that. So when we talk about improving welfare also, I think the government is doing enough. In 2024, salary was readjusted, and so a private soldier who was supposed to be taking 40,000 moved to 100,000. So, and now we also had about another review of salaries, which was done last year, approved by the president. So that one also is being approved. But there are other areas in terms of education for the troops' children, accommodation, and several other areas that also we need to be addressed.
In May of this year, Turkey, which couldn't get supplies from European and American countries in the past. In May of this year, Turkey launched its first indigenous homemade intercontinental ballistic missile in May of this year. In fact, just 2-3 days ago, they also launched another weaponry, underwater weaponry, that can travel several meters, and it shows that they internalize, they look at what they've experienced in terms of other world powers not supplying them or selling to them, and they started producing. And Turkey today is one of these highly sophisticated weapon-producing countries of the world.
Let me shock you. Before Sudan went to war, this war that is going on, there's nothing they are not producing. All the projectiles,
in Sudan.
Yes, they are producing their uniforms. They are producing their own boots. Everything, because they know the country is. I mean, they are locked up. They are not able to procure anything outside. Everything they need. You go to Egypt, you'll be amazed what military-industrial complex is doing within Egypt. We went to a particular location where they are producing surveillance cameras. That does not need to be, you don't need necessarily you don't have to put it on an aircraft before you are able to fly it or put it on drones. Some you can just put on the chest of some eagle, and then eagle flies over a particular area, and then they are able to do surveillance. And those are some of the ways that you can even conceal being observed.
I'm waiting for the Nigerian version of a Tomahawk, just like the Turkish produce their own indigenous.
A Tomahawk that was launched on the coastal part of Ghana that traveled about 1,000 and something kilometers into Sokoto. And we are able to control it such that
precision
is also able to shed its weight, because there are other things that it does not need to get into action with. So some of those sharpness fell on some towns, you recall.
In Offa.
Yes, it needed to shed some of the things.
So that's the explanation.
Yes.
When people said we felt something
on
our roof.
It was just shedding weight so that it can move
move faster.
And then it's able to be controlled and launched on the target.
With precision.
Precision targeting. Because what the precision targeting does is that it minimizes the number of casualties, the civilian casualties in an area. If you're able to pinpoint and hit your target, then civilian cost will be highly minimized.
Is this one of the most radical reforms of the Nigerian army that we have seen yet?
I gave you just 4-letter word: Rejig at its best. That's what. That's
so this is audacious.
Yeah, this is audacious because you see we've been having several governments before now. So coming with 4 divisions is not a child's play. We started with 7 divisions when we were increasing the number, and then we went ahead to create 8 divisions. That is just creating 1 and 1 at each time. We are witnessing a situation where 4 divisions. I just pray that the money will be there, to be able to.
The part of it that we did not talk about is the welfare, improve welfare. That is very critical.
I'm sure that I want to think that no serious government will embark a route just to play on the intelligence of the populace.
So if they're serious
about this,
if there's any kidnapping, any abduction, God forbid, in any part of the country with this division,
there will be timely response. In fact, I came up with something sometimes that in each of these geopolitical zones, we should have what we call a strike force that has helicopter, special forces,
fully equipped.
Yes, such that if something happens within a particular location, within these geo zones,
Yeah.
It's within the next few minutes,
Yeah.
aircrafts are airborne,
Yeah.
and they are able to observe, and then they direct troops to how to engage.
General, thank you so much indeed. What I heard and some within the military and within the security intelligence community is that we in fact now have some elite squad that are now domiciled, that are being monitored and controlled under the NSA office to ensure that there is precision in response time, and we now have some new gadgets and new weapons to be able to prosecute. Those are some of the things that we are hearing.
Let's move them to the geo zones.
Absolutely. So that we have them in multiple grounds. Yes. General Anthony Atolabi, always a pleasure having you. I know you're also a lecturer. You know how to break these things down. Thanks so much indeed.